During my time in venture capital as well as an entrepreneur, I realized a lot of the issues that entrepreneurs face during fundraising. So entrepreneurs get diluted down to 10% by Series D. They give up a huge amount of value and control in the process. In addition to that, entrepreneurs have the chicken and egg problem. So they first have to raise the funding in order to show the right metrics to investors. And it also takes a really long time in order to raise funding. Sometimes it can take more than 6 months. Supafin aims to solve these problems by providing instant revenue-based funding for recurring revenue startups. And we're also looking at an invoice discounting product that can help these startups to fundraise.
What we see is a massive opportunity to protect founders with their innovative product. Instead of losing the control of the company, we share the risk with them, and then we focus on their revenue to grow. Not only we protect them from the dilution, we give them the opportunity to get better metrics. As well, we guarantee them a really fast financing, which can facilitate their growth, and they can ship the time they spend on fundraising towards the product.
The SaaS market is absolutely massive. It's growing from around $300 billion in 2019 to over $600 billion in 2023 at a compound annual growth rate of 18%. Right now, there's the perfect mix of factors. It's never been easier to start off a SaaS or recurring revenue business. In addition to that, COVID has hit. So in economic recessions, valuations for companies usually decline. It's not the ideal time to raise venture capital. And so entrepreneurs need to look to other forms of funding. In addition to that, we're tapping into the Antler network, and that network is growing with over 1,000 entrepreneurs right now.
We see some competitors focusing on specific regions, or some are focusing on short term, and we see the opportunity to focus on short term and long term. We are also seeing the opportunity to develop a platform as a service. The other factor is the process speed that we aim to put in place with our algorithm.
We are also building an intelligence tool aiming to help founders make funding decisions between equity and revenue-based funding and provide those insights through the data that we collect.
Our business model varies on the risk level of the company that we assess. That can go from 5% up to 40%. And depending on that same risk, we define the amount of revenue we share with them. That can go between 2% up to 10% of their monthly recurring revenue.
We incorporated in June, July. During these last 2 months, we've built a pipeline of over 1,000 clients. And right now we're working with 4 clients. We're compiling 4 case studies. So I have around 17 years of experience in finance. I was the CFO at the venture capital family office, where I dealt with startups and had first-hand knowledge of the issues that entrepreneurs face. Before that, I have a host of investment banking experience, including experience in credit, which is very relevant to the Supafin business. Carlos has 6 years of fintech experience. He worked on data architecture, which is very similar to what we're using in Supafin. In addition to being finance professionals and having finance experience, we also ran our own startups. So we have first-hand knowledge of how difficult it is to raise funding, as well as the problems that entrepreneurs have.
It was incredible to experience Antler's framework and to put us in touch very early on. It was perfect.
We met right at the beginning of the program. Antler had arranged a scavenger hunt where we had to solve certain challenges. We worked quite well during that challenge. We were the last team to leave the building because we planned our route really well, and we ended up winning that challenge. So I realized that we work very well together. During the Antler program, we started off looking at financing solutions in the SME industry. We pivoted based on data. Because of our experience with startups and our experience in the finance world, we were aware of revenue-based funding. It's existed for quite a while. We realized that it can be automated using open banking. And because of that, we started testing this idea with founders within the program. We realized that it solves a lot of the funding issues that they've been having in the past. And based on that feedback, we eventually came up with Supafin.
Well, it's been really surprising to us, the perception that founders have about revenue-based financing, perhaps based on the prior knowledge they have about loans. This model has been in the market for quite a long time already, and they are not aware yet about the space, although this is very funder-friendly.
For those that have heard of revenue-based funding, they don't understand how it works. So a lot of them think that it's like debt. I think that there's still a certain market knowledge that needs to take place in order to educate people about the product.
We have a really bold vision for this company because we dream to revolutionize every single fundraising round for startups, and to make founders focus on what they do best is to build innovative products and not spending the time on fundraising and catching the right investor.
So in a year's time, we will have around 30 clients, and we would have raised a loan book, which should be more than $25 million. In terms of vision, we would like to take a holistic approach, from cradle to grave of a transaction, of a funding transaction. We would like to solve all of the problems that entrepreneurs have.
We couldn't be more excited about this because if we really think about this type of model, it's really founder friendly. And the fact that founders can shift the focus from fundraising, those long periods of time, towards the building of their products, that could be a game changing for the quality of startup products.
We want to play a role in changing the financial landscape for entrepreneurs. We believe that revenue-based funding is going to form an important part of the finance stack looking forward in the near future. Because of our time as entrepreneurs and our time in finance, we realize the issues that entrepreneurs face, and we want to play an active role in solving those issues. When you look at the startup world, we're basically funding innovation, and that innovation makes the world a better place.